What is up, everyone? Everyone. Finally, we got it in. You are tuned in to CoogsNation. And I'm here joined with the man of the hour. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining our podcast. This is Manav Gupta, part of the CoogsNation. We're going to be doing our first episode today. I'm going to be talking about the homecoming game, the football season, as well as the basketball season that's about to get underway. So excited to get our first episode underway on CoogsNation. Go Cougs.
Yeah. Go Cougs. Well, first of all, folks, if you like what you're seeing, tell everyone, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at CoogsNation. On Twitter at CoogsNation. You'll see all the episodes there. And then all the podcast platforms, all that stuff will be posted there as well. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. What do you think about this upcoming matchup here against South Florida? This is the homecoming game. It's been a rough season so far. Um, I'm. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, UH is coming back home after a 2-game win streak. I mean, you beat a team like Memphis the way they did, somehow pulled it out with an onside kick and somehow got that game done. And they had a pretty good performance against Navy, but we're going to be playing South Florida tomorrow for the homecoming game here in Houston at TDECU Stadium. It's a game that the Cougars really should win. Hasn't been, again, like you mentioned, Richard, hasn't been too great of a season. We had much higher expectations coming in. Currently a 4-3 record, but this is a game that the Cougars definitely need to get a win here. South Florida's 1-6. The only team they've beaten, I think, is Citadel. No, they beat Howard. So they beat Howard.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean, that's not too great of a win. And Houston, they've been looking better. Again, it hasn't been too great of a season, but they need to pull this win out, and they need to win for homecoming. Should be a fun game, and really excited for Houston putting up a good offensive performance, hopefully.
Well, you kind of touched on the key word offense. And one of the things that scares me about South Florida is that in spite of their record, they're a team that puts up a lot of points. I mean, this is a team that, they even put up a lot of points against Cincinnati. So it's alarming that, we have challenges and struggles on the defensive side of the ball, and we're playing against a team that we know can put up points. So I agree with you. It should be a win, but we thought that at the beginning of the season that basically all of the games on the schedule should have been a win, and it hasn't quite worked out that way. So I'm very cautious, and at the same time, I'm still optimistic that they can walk away with a win. But the USF offense is potent, and they will put up points on the board.
Yeah, I think you mentioned like a really big point in the game where this defense, they've been giving up a lot of big plays to all kinds of teams. And South Florida, they've been putting up lots of points in pretty much every game, although the results may have not gone their way.
Right.
They've been able to put up points, and their offense has been pretty solid. So
this is a team that took. I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is a team that took Florida all the way to the end, 28-31. Florida beat them at the end of that game. So if they can hang up 28 on Florida, they kind of makes me nervous, about the way that the game could go with against us. So we're gonna hope for the best. We hope that they find a way to establish the run, which they haven't been able to do as of late. And we can't rely on Clayton Toon's heroics, as great as he is. We can't let that be our sole source of fuel to victory.
Yeah, I think that running game is going to be key. Tajon Henry is still injured, but Stacey Sneed has come in that game. And Stacey Sneed's been really good. He had 5 yards per carry against Navy, so I'm looking for him and maybe Brandon Campbell to get some yards. But really, we need Clayton Toon and Tank Dell to really get that connection going. Keyshawn Carter too. They have some talent on this offense, and they just really need to put it together. Should be I would think a high-scoring matchup considering this defense, like we've said before. It might be put in a tough spot against this South Florida offense. So. We'll see what happens. Again, hope the Cougars can pull it out, but I think it's probably going to be closer, but it's a game that ultimately I think they should still be able to win. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, and, we need to go ahead and address the 12,000-pound elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Coach Dana Holgerson has a lot of people question as to whether or not this is going to be the guy for us moving forward. I mean, this is our last year in the American. We're moving to the Big 12. Competition level is increased. the difference in the schedules are going to be very notable right off the bat. And the other thing that you and I spoke all about off camera is beforehand is our recruiting class of 2023 is looking at this right now and saying, hey, do I want to play for this guy or not? So just kind of give me your overall thoughts on that. Like is Dana Holgerson the guy for us moving forward based on what you've observed so far?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, there've been moments in the season where they just have not looked good as a team as a whole. The leadership is questionable at some points in the season. Post game remarks by Holgerson and one of the press conferences was really questionable, where he said he's tired. And as a coach, you just can't say that. You can't be tired if you're a coach.
Right.
It's just not the mindset you want to see from him. They're miraculously pulling out some wins here, but it's going to hurt the program as a whole if the leadership is not there. If I think one of the earlier games there was a fight between a couple of players on the sidelines. I mean, there needs to be leadership as a whole. The group needs to be on the same page, and I think we need to see a little bit more of that. I'm a little bit concerned from what we've seen from him so far this season, but just hope that starting from this homecoming game forward, if they can maybe get some wins and get on a roll a little bit, maybe that'll help raise hopes for the team, because ultimately people had a high expectation of the Cougars coming in, and ultimately was kind of let down. And I think Holgerson is definitely responsible for a lot of it. And hopefully we can, as the season progresses and comes in, hopefully we can see some positives, and hopefully we can move on from there. But it's tough to say right now if Coach Holgerson is indeed the actual answer. I think we should probably wait a few more games and then assess it. But so far, it hasn't looked as good as we thought. I think I'll just put it that way.
I couldn't agree more. For me, I think it's the way that you bounce back from adversity, because you're going to have it as a player, as a coach, as a former athlete. I can tell you from experience, just you're always going to have tough times and good times, and it's how you respond to those that speaks to your character. And like I said, these recruits are watching that, but also something to think about is that since the transfer portal is alive and well, and a lot of these players are on the current roster looking at the way that the team's being managed, we don't want to lose what we have also, because we still have a lot of talent on this team that we need to focus on retaining. So recruiting is sort of a two-headed monster where you keep what you have and plus you acquire new talent to go with it. So I'm interested to see how Dana wins the locker room back, so to speak, and then how he keeps the recruiting class, excited about coming to the program. Because as we mentioned before, the culture is important, especially with us making the jump to the Big 12. This is going to be very critical. This is a very critical season for us because the class that we have now this year is going to be basically the centerpiece of our second season in the Big 12. We already have what we have, but for the most part, give it or take a few transfer portal guys that's going to come into the program. But we already have our core going into the first season with the Big 12, and we understand that's going to be a change. But second year is going to be big for us in that moving into that conference, and those guys that we recruit this year are going to be a part of that package that we put on the field, part of that product that we put on the field that second year. So Holgerson's got a big task ahead of him to win this team back, win their trust back. For me, I think it's the way that we run the remaining course of the season. If we somehow get to a bowl game, is we have to win that bowl game. That's, to me, is the mark for him is no more than one more loss plus a win in the bowl game, in order for him to save his relationship with the team and with the locker room. He's not going to be terminated because the buyout for his contract is way too steep. At a minimum, he's going to have to play. We're going to coach at least one more year. I believe that it's like $11.5 million buyout. If they were to buy him out this year, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. A lot of people, are frustrated with Holgerson, but the fact is they can't just let him go. It's too much money at this point, and it's unfortunate. But got a few games left in the season. Hopefully, we can pull it together, get some wins, and maybe get to a bowl game at some point. Just got to get some momentum down the stretch here, and hopefully he can, like you said, win the locker room back and win some of these players over in terms of how the program's going to go for the future. Because the Big 12, I mean, that's a whole nother level that we're talking about compared to the American. The schedule is going to be much harder, and a lot of people are worried that this team is just not ready, and they need to show something quickly to get this program back on track. And Holgerson needs to do the same as well. He needs to show something about this team that they can, go through some adversity and pull it together. Because I think if they can do that, I think people are going to be a little bit more optimistic about where the Cougars are going to be heading. Because this is a big moment for this program, for the athletics program as a whole, going into the Big 12. So they need to look good in that program. So it's about just winning some games here, trying to get that momentum in, and hopefully taking it from there. But I think it's a pretty critical stretch right now to try and win some games and just be optimistic. Hopefully we can see some positive results.
Yeah, no question. Looking ahead to the remainder of the schedule, I personally, I have SMU circled on my calendar because this is a team that they are a very, very, very tough out. And we're going to be playing them on the road, I should add.
Yeah, on the road.
They score a ton of points. SMU's offense is a juggernaut. Look at these scoring totals. Going back to the beginning of the season: 48, 45, 27, 34, 41, 40, 27. So they put points on the board. And as we know, that's been a huge challenge for us is those shootout games. We started off the season with a shootout game there at UTSA in San Antonio, and we were fortunate to pull that one out. But we've been on the opposite end of that as well quite a bit. That is a matchup that really, really has me a bit nervous, just to be honest, about how that defense is going to handle that SMU, that very potent offense. Also looking ahead, there is Tulane and SMU. I'm sorry, Tulane, Temple. I'm sorry, Temple as well. So those two teams also they get up and down the field. So defense is going to have to improve without question.
Yeah, 100% agree. Because I've been to a couple of games, and the crowd is, you see people there and they're excited about third down, and then the defense just gives up another big play. So I mean, they got to try and limit that. They're going to be facing teams that put up points, and the offense has got to be more consistent as well. They've struggled to kind of be consistent in terms of putting points on the board, going up and down the field, getting good drives. I mean, you see them at some points of the game, they're looking really great. And then other times they just go 3 and out. So they got to look better in terms of consistency. The teams that they're going to be facing, and they may not have the best records, but they're still going to be challenging opponents, but because of their offenses and how they score. And in terms of the defenses, in terms of our defense and our struggles, and having some injuries as well, this does hurt this team too. So I mean, it's going to be a close game. I think maybe all the games are probably going to be very close, but hopefully we'll be able to see them continue to get some wins.
Yeah, coaching is going to be critical in these matchups. You've been, very active here, especially as of late, and we kind of talked about, you having the opportunity to go to some Cougs games. I haven't had a chance to make it out to one yet this year so far. Tell me a bit about the experience there, at the stadium. What's it like? What do you see different? What do you like? What would you change if you were, put in charge of the fan experience?
Yeah, it's a very different experience. This is my first year at UH. I've been really excited to attend games. I've gone to, I think, all the games so far because it's my first year. I just wanted to experience that for myself, going to a college atmosphere, at the place that I, go to school. And it's a really fun experience, a lot of different stuff than if you go to an NFL game. I mean, the Spirit of Houston band does a great job throughout the game. Love their energy. Just love the whole atmosphere as a whole. I think the Cougars do a good job of trying to keep the fans engaged. But, attendance has been, I would say, maybe a little bit of an issue. You do see some empty parts of the stadium. Would love for those areas to be filled because I think TDECU is a great environment. It's a good stadium. I think athletics has put a lot of effort into trying to make it appealing for fans. So I think it's a great place to watch a football game. A lot of great facilities. You see the energy in terms of the fans. The fans who are there, they definitely do bring the energy. But the team's got to bring the results as well. And I
Yeah.
think once the results are there, you'd start to see more people start to come in and support the team. But I really like the way they've uh, you know the fan experience there. I think is good. But if more people can start to come to games and experience that for themselves, they can realize that. I think athletics puts in a lot of work, and I think they're doing a good job. They're doing the best they can. It's just a matter of the team getting those positive results so more people can watch. I think that's really what the key is at this point.
No question, no question. Winning brings interest. There's no other way. You can have a great environment. You can have all of the cool tools and bells and
Yeah,
whistles. I mean, in my opinion, the just the food court that they have at the stadium is above and beyond many others. I mean,
yeah,
some of the local eateries have have vendor stands there. It's just they just have to at the end of the day they just have to win. They have to win, and I know that some of us diehard Cougs fans saying, "Well, hey, you should come out and support regardless," but we know that's just it just doesn't happen, man. People love to be around a winning environment. I mean, you look at what is taking place across the street at the former Hofheinz, aka to Fertitta Center, and you see the energy at those games, and you see the fans flocking to get in there. You can't not find an open seat in that venue while the Cougs men's basketball team is out there because they are delivering results. They have this entire campus and the fan base in the city excited to see them again. They are going to be hosting the Final Four this year here in Houston. Our own Jim Nance is going to be calling his last Final Four in Houston, which is going to be amazing to see him. He's been the voice of the Final Four for just about 3 decades. This is going to be his last one. So awesome that he gets to go out at home. It would be even more awesome if he were to call his Cougs winning the championship here. So tell me what are your thoughts on that?
yeah. It's a very exciting time to be a men's basketball fan for the Houston Cougars. They're a very, very talented team. Number 3 in the nation already. I mean, it's the best they've been in years. So they got a really great team this year, and everyone loves Coach Sampson. I think a lot of it has to do with how he coaches, the energy that he brings. In college programs, you need a good coach, and that's what Kellen Sampson does so well. He's a great leader of that team, and he shows the results. The team brings home wins regularly, and that's what you want to see. I mean, the Fertitta Center is a great facility, and you see tons of fans over there. I mean, the whole city is really behind this team and supporting them, and you see them watch games and have interest in the basketball program because of how good they are and how resilient they are as a team. You can see the cohesiveness, togetherness as a team. They play really well. They play as a team well. And I'm really, really excited for the season. It starts soon in November, beginning of November. Season's going to start. So definitely looking forward to seeing those games at Fertitta Center. And I mean, the Final Four is here. I mean, it can be a Cinderella run. Meaning like they have everything at their disposal in terms of making it a very, very special run. Having the Final Four here in Houston, having a good team, having the legendary Jim Nance call the Final Four. I mean, they can make this year very, very special if everything goes right, and they have the potential to do it. So it's a very, very exciting time, and they'll be going into the Big 12, and they're a very good team. So I don't think there'll be any problem in terms of them transitioning over, unlike the football program. But yeah, I mean, it's a great time. Super excited, to say the least, honestly.
No question, no question. I reiterate everything that you said. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Just the level of respect and energy and detail that Coach Sampson has brought to this program. He makes it in a type of environment where the players are just totally bought into his way of doing things. And it's not that he does it in a domineering fashion. It's really more in a loving family type environment where he has expectations, but at the same time, they have fun. And he gets the absolute most out of these young men in that program. It is just amazing to see the job that he's done. And additionally, his loyalty to the program because we've experienced this before, where coaches in these programs come in and they'll have short-term success, and other opportunities present themselves, which that has happened with him as well. The other teams have approached him with offers. I mean, he's like, nope, I'm loyal. I'm staying here. This is where I'm going to retire. And in addition to that, we have Coach Sampson's son waiting in the wings to, ultimately be the heir apparent to the throne when he steps away. So he has built a incredible program. We're built for long-term success, not just a short-term run. And there's already a succession plan in place. So it's just exciting to be. This is an exciting time to be a Cougs fan with this basketball program. So hats off to Coach Sampson and the crew for all that they've done. And these young men are just, really, really just doing a phenomenal job. I'm really excited to see Marcus Sasser back this year after not having him last year with that injury. This is going to be a guy that you're going to see in the NBA at some point when he ends his college career. So to me, that was the biggest testament that he had an opportunity to get going to the draft this year, and he decided to stay and make a run with us.
Yeah.
That alone speaks volume about the level of respect that he has for Coach Sampson.
Yeah, I mean, you see the talent that this team has. I mean, Sasser coming back is huge. Arguably the team's best player. Jamal Shedd's been really good. You bring in Tremont Mark as well. He's coming back after his injury. This team had a couple of injuries, but they're able to make it far last year, all the way to the Elite Eight. But this team definitely has potential, of course, to win it all, and that's what he ultimately hope. I mean, the team has talent, and it's all because of Coach Sampson, what he brings to the program. Like you said, this program is built for long-term success, and the recruits, they're coming over to this program realizing, what, we want to play for Coach Sampson, and that's really big for this program to keep maintaining a level of success for the future. But yeah, this is a year that I think we all hope that they can really accomplish it this year and get it done, go all the way. And I think they're ready for it. It's about time, honestly.
It is definitely about time. I know we talked about this off the air.
Yeah.
But for those of us who are the old heads who've been here, who experienced that heartbreak in the Phi Slammer Jam years when we had all that talent and we did not get it done twice. I was there. I saw the last second dunk against NC State. I remember I still have that little bit of part of my heart that's just still wounded from that. And this is a chance for this program to heal that and to do it at home. To me, makes all of that go away. Those are great years. But this is a chance to not only heal those wounds, but also moving forward. There's just so much untapped potential with this program, and for it to be at a national level, we're coming into the season ranked number 3, and I would even argue with something that we possibly could be ranked number 1 with the level of talent that we have on this team. So this is going to be a very exciting year. I hope that Coach Holgerson finds the time to stop by and just maybe invite Coach Sampson out for lunch and just have a talk. I mean, how did you build this culture? Pick his brain. Maybe there's something that translates over to football that he can implement. I don't know, but they're just doing a phenomenal job, the basketball side of operations, and even with all the injuries last year, for them to make it to the Elite Eight, really talks about how they just rallied around each other and pushed each other to newer heights.
Yeah, 100% agree. They're very impressive, and I think we're so glad to see a great college team taking Houston far, getting that national recognition. And I think you made a great point there. I think Holgerson should definitely talk with Sampson and try and figure out some stuff into just how to interact with the guys and how to build a great relationship and take the teams to the next level. So the talent is there. It's just a matter of getting it done, and they're right up there. We've seen them do it. The thing is that this Cougars basketball team, we've seen them on the big stage. We've seen them pull out wins, and we have belief that they can do it again. And the talent is there. I mean, they're ranked number 3 for a reason. So very, very special time for the basketball team, and hopefully we can see the football team as well finish their season on a high note too.
Absolutely. I'm just kind of taking a look at the schedule, and we don't ever want to count our chickens before they hatch.
Yes.
But Going into the season, I only see two ranked opponents on the schedule, and that would be Alabama and Virginia. So obviously, seeding is important as you prepare to enter into the tournament because that determines matchup, travel,
Yeah.
you name it. Um, but there's a lot of opportunity when you look at that schedule. We literally should be the favorite in every single. Oh, sorry, there's three. Oregon, I did overlook Oregon.
Mm.
Um, but we literally should be the favorite in every single matchup this season, and we're not talking small numbers either.
Yeah.
So I don't see a reason why, of course, in any given night, you got to have respect for your opponents. So something could happen along the way, but I don't see why this team can't stay the course, get out of this season with a very high seed, be in a position to where they're going to, be able to go very far in the tournament. And if they can just make it to Houston for the Final Four, just that to me, that's my hashtag. Make it home. Hashtag make it home. I'm
Love
gonna
it.
be using that all season. Hashtag make it home. If they can make it back to Houston for the Final Four, I'm telling you, they are gonna win it here. I just have that feeling they're gonna win it here. It's gonna be magical. It's gonna be something that never happened in NCAA history, and for us to be the host and the champion at the same time is just it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great opportunity, and this team is there that they have the chance. And I think that's a really great point. All they have to do, I think, if they come home and they play at here in Houston for the Final Four, yeah, I think there's a great chance they can get it done because having that home local crowd support this team, being here in Houston, I think it's just going to elevate their game to the next level. And hopefully, like you said, the schedule. I mean, obviously, you can't overlook any opponents, but it does look pretty favorable at
Mhm.
this moment in time. So if they can win a majority of them, get a really good seed in the tournament, like you mentioned, it puts them in a really great position. And season starts November 7th, I believe, here at Fertitta Center. So
Mhm.
definitely, if any people want to show up to that game, it's going to be packed, of course, but got to support the hometown Cougs, man. They're going to be special.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a great season. It's a great time to be a Coug. Athletics program is great. We haven't touched upon it yet, but the great Carl Lewis is going to be
Oh
running
yeah,
our track program. So we lose a legend, we pick up a legend. That's just what we do around here in CoogsNation, man. It's just that is exciting. We'll talk about the track team at some point next week.
yeah.
Um, we're got a couple minutes left, so I know tonight is a very important night for a lot of Houstonians. So just wanted to kind of get your take on what do you think about the World Series with the Houston Astros hosting it tonight?
Yeah, of course, man. The Astros have been probably the face of Houston sports over the last few years. Just all their success. I mean, you see a team. People they love winning teams, of course, and that's why you see Astros games sold out.
Hmm.
And I think that's why you see the basketball program at UH sold out compared to the football program, and compared to the Texans games, half empty, unfortunately. And now you see the Astros game packed. But this team is special. Haven't lost a single game yet in the postseason, swept the Mariners, swept the Yankees. Phillies are definitely a much better team than they're Phillies are the best team they've faced so far. They're better than the Yankees. They're better than the Mariners. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a longer series. I think Astros fans are, of course, confident in the team getting it done in a sweep or 5 games, but I think Astros in 6 is what I'm thinking at
Ooh,
this point.
okay.
I think, game one's going to be crucial today. Verlander got to get the win today with him on the mound, but the Phillies are a team that their offense is hot. I mean, the thing is, in 2019, 2021, we saw a very, very hot team, and they were able to beat the Astros. But I think the one thing is this Astros team is different simply because of the amount of pitching depth. You don't see this
Right.
amount of starting pitching and bullpen that the Houston
Yes.
Astros have. You just don't see it. So that is such a huge advantage. They have the hitters who've been in these big positions and done it, but the Phillies have been really good this year. I mean, in the postseason, they've been getting it done offensively, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. But ultimately, the Astros are just a better team, and they have to win this. Honestly, they have to.
I like that. I like that. They've had a lot of postseason success, but
Yeah.
kind of like us Cougs that who have been there, they just haven't quite sealed the deal.
Mhm.
They've been into was it 4 of the last 6 World Series?
Yeah,
and they lost so far. They got one, so they win this one, it'll be two.
Yeah.
We would love for them to be able to close that out and have two championship teams in Houston the same year. So the Astros and UH men's basketball team could really energize this city and make up for what the Texans and the Rockets aren't doing. So looking forward to that. I agree with your assessment. I got the Astros at 6. I just think that their depth and their pitching, their bullpen, I think they can match the Phillies' bats because they swept the Yankees with an ice cold Altuve.
Yeah.
I do not expect that guy to stay cold for very long. His bat's going to wake up. Pena, Jordan, all those guys are just amazing. So I definitely, I'll go with Astros at 6.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, you talk about Alex Bregman too. He's been clutch. I mean, Bregman's numbers in terms of postseason have been excellent. That guy kills it when it comes to this time of season. So I mean, the bats are there. Altuve, he started heating up in the last 2 games a little bit. I mean, it wasn't too much, but got a few hits here and there. So maybe you might start to see him turn around. I think a lot of people have been saying he might be the MVP of the World Series. So we'll see. Hopefully he can do that.
Yeah, and you had an opportunity to meet some of the actually players on both sides. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, the Astros have been such a great organization in terms of the players, how nice they've been in terms of interacting with the fans. I mean, the fans absolutely love these players. I mean, they back them up every single day, 24/7. I mean, they absolutely love Jose Altuve down here. They love Bregman. And having a chance to just, shoot out a message on Twitter to a few of them and just ask, hey, can I interview you for a few minutes on my channel? And they are so great guys that they agree. And it's been an honor to speak with guys like Altuve and Bregman and McCullers. They're amazing guys. And then, going to the ballpark, and if you go on the Astros tour, you get to see the ballpark early, and then you get to see batting practice. And that's where I was able to connect with a few players over there. They've been great. And, they're ready for it. They know that this team has to get it done, and they're ready for it. And on the other side, Rhys Hoskins, he's the first baseman for the Phillies, and I had a chance to connect with him. I'm an ambassador for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. He is an ambassador as well. So that's how we were able to connect through the organization. I was able to talk to him, and it's pretty crazy because I interviewed him before the season, and now his Phillies are in the World Series, and then they're facing the Astros. So it's going to be crazy. Happy for Rhys Hoskins for making it. So it's been, I'd say, pretty fortunate that I've been able to interview players on both sides of this year's World Series.
Awesome, man. Well, we wish him to have a good series, but not too good. So
yeah, not too good.
He has a good time, but we still root for the Astros to pull it out tonight.
100%.
Of course, homecoming coming up. Guys, we know it's been a hard season. We still got to find a way to get out there and support them. We got to push them. This is not the time to quit on these guys. So get those tickets, get out there, get in the stands, get in the parking lot, be loud. Welcome the South Florida Bulls to CoogsNation, man. Just welcome them, give them the good old third ward welcome. Be very loud and proud. But we have a lot to look forward to. So again, we thank you guys for your support. Follow us, like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at CoogsNation on Twitter. You'll see this podcast and any of the other things that we do out here to promote Cougs Athletics. So we're excited, and episode 1 in the books. Thank you again. Manav, tell them how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at MG Sports Talk on Twitter. I'm on Instagram too at MG Sports Talk. Don't really post too much on there. Trying to get more active on Instagram, but Twitter is the place to be if you want to follow me. And on YouTube, that's my YouTube channel, Manav Sports Talk. You can follow me, subscribe to me there as well. But excited for homecoming. Need everyone to show up there, support this team. They need us. This team needs the support in TDCU. So hope we can have a good homecoming tomorrow, and go Cougs, of course.
Go Cougs. All right, y'all.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, guys. We will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Next week. Go Cougs.
Peace out.